Welcome to Mark Bayersky YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about two fascinating crystals that have always blown me away when I've been a healer with my clients. And I'm always fascinated with crystals and always wondered, what do these crystals do and how do they help? What kind of wave or energy do they produce that makes a difference in the client, around the client? I'm going to show you them first. So here they both are. Okay. Say hello to Shungite and to terahertz. I like to call it Silicon Valley, and there's a reason why I call it that. So these two crystals, I'll start with the first one, which is the most obvious one to a lot of you guys if you're watching this now. So this is from Russia. This is a crystal that if it's not been slightly polished, you're going to get black on the hands. I'm often getting black powder residue from it. What does this crystal do? Well, there's something in this where science and spirituality kind of are, meet somewhere in agreement sometimes, when science will realize that they have to catch up to spirituality. But this crystal resonates an energy that causes, let's say, a conflict in the waves around you. It causes a disruption to the energy around you. Now, the energy that I'm talking about is not Mother Earth's energy, but is of man-made energy, which is microwave, which is the computer giving off this gun of wave, which is sending you crazy, which is sending you asleep, which is sending you, it's sending a wave into you to program you, basically. That's what this computer screen does. It's a natural, let's say it is now, but it wasn't when it was created. But it's now, it has a natural energy to mess you up completely. So a lot of people used to ask me, who worked on, this is how it started, worked on computers. In fact, when I think about it, it actually started with their repetitive grip and issues with their fingers. They couldn't move their fingers properly and they were having terrible pain here. Again, this is good for that too. So yeah, they'd come and say, Mark, I have terrible pains with my hands, or I can't see properly, I have blurred vision, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say, okay, do you work on a computer? Yes, well, that's probably what it is. And they'd go, oh God, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a bit obvious. But I used to always go and grab this dirty black crystal and work with it. And that's this. And I had maybe 40 or 50 pieces of it all over the place. Wasn't really sure what it was, because I used to buy in bulk off different people who used to give me lots of crystals or sell me them. So I was working with this crystal a long while ago, and it was dusty, it was dirty, and I used to get mad because I always used to have dirty hands, but I always used to pick it up for reasons of this. And one of the reasons were blood issues, kind of erratic behavior, people who were struggling with emotions that triggered very quickly. So I was using this crystal, and the more I looked into it and the more I realized it helps with a lot of things, a lot of issues with blood, a lot of trigger issues. But after a while, when people were wearing it, I realized that they were feeling better and they were working on the computer. And I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be something in this, because headaches were disappearing, feeling of sometimes feeling sick or extra. What did a lot of my clients get? Like sometimes you can swallow because you've got acid, so a buildup of acid. That was happening in a lot of my clients who were working on the computer as well, which is something that people don't talk about. Stress levels, OTT, not being able to sleep properly. And a lot of people who used to have this hand which was morphed with their phone, you've seen people like that all day long. They're just morphed with it completely. I should hold my hand up because I'm often working on my phone. Well, this was always placed into the hand of clients. Why am I doing this all the time? There's something in this. And then a few years later, this is years ago, a few years later, it started coming out that Shungite, more and more, I mean, I was at one show in Germany and there was one guy just selling Shungite, and I went up to him, I says, all over his boards were saying that it helps with eliminating of bad energies from Wi-Fi, from all that negative energy from computers. And thus we come to the stage today, 2020, or is it 2022? Who knows? I don't even know what year it is. These past 2 years have just disappeared, and it's all a blank to me. But when the 4+1 towers came out, that there was like, oh, there's these towers, they're springing up, and I'm saying, oh yeah, and I'm feeling it on my phone. And this guy was confirming everything and said, look, we're finding out that this is an amazing stone and it's really helping. And then he started showing me the science behind it, as when you place this in front of a phone and you have a special kind of monitor that monitors the negative energy, which people call different names. You call it radiation or whatever it is. I'm not really into all of that, but you could see that there was a block. But for me, it wasn't really, oh look, this is why I use it. There's something more about Shungite. It's a very special stone, and it is a very, very powerful stone in many ways. These two stones help in so many ways and help balance you. My personal feeling about this stone is I like it next to my computer. I like it next to my bed. I like it under my pillow, even though if you've got white, it might cause a little bit of colour disruption. So what I used to do is put it in a sock and put it under my pillow. That works well. I stick it in my bag next to my phone, which means that if my bag and my phone is in my bag, this is in my bag, it's going to help clear and not be as toxic to my body or the environment. And it works. It certainly works. So as one of two most powerful crystals for Wi-Fi, for microwave, for the phone, and for all the negativity in the earth, in the earth that is all polluted by man-made HARP, DARPA, all of these CERN creating these energies that should not be messed with. This, I believe, is one of my top two most amazing crystals to use. Okay, so say hello to one of my top two favorite crystals, Silicon Valley or terahertz. Now, I found this crystal about 8 to 10 years ago, and I can't be precise. And how I found it was I was at a crystal event, and it was one on its own, and this guy was selling it, and I was drawn to it instantly. And I looked at it, and it was an oval one, and it looked so beautiful. It had crevices, but it was still that shiny aluminium kind of looking, silvery, beautiful. And I was so drawn to it. And I asked this person what it was, and he didn't call it any of those two names. He called it something else. And he said, this is going to be revolutionary. And I laughed. I said, why? He says, because it's going to change people's energetic frequencies and fields. And I'm like, okay, a little bit too much for me, but I like it. I'd like to wear it. And I'll figure it out myself. So I was wearing this Silicon Valley. What I found was when I was on the phone, I wasn't feeling as heavy. While I was doing my work on the computer, and that work then was, I believe, Skype. I think I just started getting into Skype. I think so. So it could have been 8 years ago, it could have been 10, I'm not sure on the years. But when I was doing my work on and people will clarify this, 95% of my work before I retired was on Skype to California, to New York, all over the world, where people were receiving healing sessions and psychic readings. So I used to wear this same piece all the time. Eventually, I started seeing more and more of this crystal appearing, and I started to hunt it down. I wanted to know what it was, and it was a residue of sand. It was a residue of man-made silica and so on. And look, I don't know the details to it. I do know it had something to do with, the guy was telling me, Japan or China or Japan. I think it was Japan. And I was more interested in what the crystal was doing. And then I started working with it. I started buying it in from different sources and mounting it like I do. And this type of pebble, this is my favorite. I have other little pieces, but this is my favorite now. This is a perfect sphere that kicks out a perfect energy that messes with the frequency of pollution, of companies and the phone. So, but I'll tell you something else, what this crystal was good for. And now, only now, I say it's probably the best crystal to wear now if you've been, because I noticed years ago that this crystal I was using on clients who had severe thrombosis and clogs, issues with blood, issues with like, I've got cancer in the brain, or I've got this, a tumor, I've got and I was using this crystal and I was gifting this crystal, and they were rubbing it on certain parts, but it was more about blood clots. It was more about the blood. And I started saying this to a lot of people who were producing it. So I know a lot of people who produce this, and they're asking me years ago, what is it doing? And I'm saying, it's healing blood clots. It's working on blood clots. It's working on blood. It's doing something, whether it's thinning it, whether, I don't know what it is, but on a spiritual, healing, energetic level, it's healing people with clots. I said it years ago to a lot of these guys. So even now, people are mentioning it, and I'm thinking, okay, people are getting it now. But that was my experience through my thousands of clients. And a lot of clients were saying, I've probably gifted more Silicon Valley away than Moldavite or any crystal probably. And I don't even know if it's on my website, but I know it works so well that I was like, okay, we need to get this out to people. So what I did was offer, and I'll do it again. I don't know if I've done it now, but I promise you this. This is my promise. For the next 6 months from this moment, if you buy a Silicon Valley from markbayerski.com, I promise you I'm going to gift you one free to give to somebody else as a gift. So that comes with it, no matter what, okay? But I would say, if you were to ask me which is the most protective crystal for Wi-Fi, for radiation poisoning, for 4+1G, for all that negativity around us, it is these two crystals. They're both fantastic. And that is my truth as a healer for 2 decades. These are phenomenal. And I will never, till my last breath, stop working with these and buying them on myself and my clients. So there you go. A most amazing 2 crystals. I hope this video serves you well. On a final note, if you do end up buying a crystal from markbayerski.com, you will be entered into a raffle, and at the end of this month you could be the proud owner of a most rare and beautiful crystal called Moldavite, and it is a museum grade AAA hedgehog from Besenice, and that will be my gift to you. So thank you so much for enjoying my videos. Love you all. Don't normally say this, but if you have time, go and subscribe to Mark Bayerski Crystals channel, because if you enjoy this, you'll enjoy the crystals channel. Okay guys, link below. I'll link three links below. One, the crystal channel, one on my latest collection of Shungite pendants, and my latest collection of, I've just finished actually working on 22, so they're amazing, which are the Silicone Valley terahertz. Have a great day, enjoy them, let me know how you're getting on with them, and have a most magical day. Take care.